So I've noticed my body position tips video from a few years back has been getting a lot of views recently. Since then, I've learned a few new things, and I think it's time that I made an updated video, and just also piggyback off the success of that one since it seems to be doing so well. So, my friend Casey here will be demonstrating proper body positioning. Notice how he's not leaning the bike over. You don't want to lean the bike over in corners because you might crash. Just stick your knee out as far as possible and keep your upper body upright. I'm just kidding. My friend will be modeling what a good body position looks like, and I'll explain step by step what he's doing and why he's doing it. Let me get the first troll comment out of the way, which is someone's gonna write, "Why should I be taking advice from somebody who has so many crashes on his suit?" I'm looking at you, Armodo. My answer to that is that he's already done all the crashing, so just learn from his mistakes. So first things first, the full tuck. This is when you're going down the straights. You want to minimize your body profile behind the windscreen as much as possible for the obvious aerodynamic reasons, but it might help if you had a clear windscreen. This full tuck profile should be your standard position when you're not in a corner, meaning that once you finish a corner, you should revert back to this position. Now, let's talk about left corners. Both left and right corners have similar profiles, but the hand activities such as clutch, throttle, brake make getting into the profile different for left and right corners. One thing does stay the same for both left and right is your feet position. For myself, I find left-hand corners easier to get into position for the simple fact that you're leaning on the left bar, which doesn't have a throttle or the brake. The best way to describe good body position is like you're hugging your bike. Pay attention to his right elbow and how it's resting on the tank. This is important because you want to transfer some of the weight of your body onto the tank. And you want to maintain some weight on the front tire, but you don't want that much weight, because if you need to make an adjustment mid-corner, you need to have the handlebars a little light. One thing you might notice is how far he's looking to the left. Depending on the corner, you probably won't be looking this far. You want to be looking at the apex or for the apex of each corner, so head placement will change depending on which corner you're taking. Let's look at his left knee and his left arm. Ideally, you want to keep your arm and your knee pretty close together. The reason for this is limits, which I will get into later on in this video. One more thing for both left and right corners is that you want to have your feet up on the peg so they don't scrape the ground if you just leave them dangling there. Right-hand corners are a bit tricky because there's so much going on as you prepare to enter a corner. But aside from these differences, everything else stays the same, including how close you want your elbow to your knee, as well as placing the opposite elbow on the gas tank to hold some of your weight. This isn't a body position technique, but more of a riding technique that he's showing us. He's showing us how he's trail braking into the corners. And I won't get too much into that now, but it's basically just braking all the way into the apex and slowly letting off the brake and transitioning slowly onto the throttle to get your drive out of the apex. Right-hand corners take a lot of practice because you have to get used to holding the throttle like it's a screwdriver. Notice how the feet change from each corner. On the tippy toes when you're in the corner, but flat foot when you're in the opposite corner. Flat footing in the opposite corner just helps with stability while you're hanging off the side of the bike. Now, before you even go out and you try these tips, you want to make sure that you're on good tires and you get what you pay for. You want to make sure that you're on good, sticky, soft tires because they give you a lot of room to make mistakes, and you will make a lot of mistakes when attempting this. So don't jip out on tires. They're probably the most important part of your motorcycle. I mentioned limits earlier, but what did I mean by that? I meant that the reason why we stick on our knees and get our knee pucks scraped up is just for looking cool for Instagram. No, it's because your knee and your elbow, they work as a gauge, the gauge for your lean angle and the limit of your bike, the lean angle limit of your bike. As long as you have a consistent good body position, you know where your lean angle is during the corner. meaning that once your knee down, you're pretty close to the lean limit, because you shouldn't be sticking your knee out that far anyway. You want it so that when your knee down, your foot peg should be pretty close to hitting the ground, probably. As you start getting faster and faster, your knee and your elbow will work as sensors and fillers to tell you where you're at in the corner. Your knee should be down only in the apexes. But when do you touch elbow, and why is touching elbow important? Most tracks have these rumble strips on the inside of the apexes that are elevated. Since you have your knee and your elbow close together, if your knee down in a corner and you're close to the actual apex, your elbow will rub up on this rumble strip, telling you that you're 100% on the race line. You can actually see what I'm talking about with the elbow drag in this corner. You could see him as he was in the apex, his elbow was really close to touching that rumble strip. I'm going to leave you guys off with a few more clips of us riding from the past weekend, and I hope we're demonstrating good body position. But I do try to elbow drag in this video, which is pretty cool. I finally was able to touch, and it's not the right way you do it. I was just a YOLO elbow drag because I've always wanted to do it. So I got a quick little sneaky elbow drag in there. But don't follow that body position. Follow the one that I just talked about. Don't do what I did. It's bad. That's it. I hope that this video has been somewhat informative, and I've been learning a lot going through these little go-kart tracks recently. Every time I go, I learn something new from somebody else there, and I'm slowly building my pace, and I'm really enjoying this, and I hope that I can share some of the knowledge with you guys that don't have access to good mentors like I do. Alright, hope you guys ride safe.